Welcome to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Some adults wonder if bullying is a new problem or did it exist when we were kids. Now, growing up in the 60s and 70s, I can attest to the fact that it did exist back then, but little, if anything, was really done about it. We learned to tolerate it or fight back, neither of which were healthy solutions at the time. Now, I remember getting beaten up at recess, and the teacher on duty simply said, "Boys will be boys," and looked the other way. Well, thankfully today, society no longer tolerates this physical and emotional abuse, and adults like you and I who suffered back then have healed and live healthy lives. But what if there was a different kind of solution to bullying that schools could adopt? My next guest says there is, and he created a movement to make it happen. Mike Daughtery is a comedian, a children's pastor, former police officer, and the co-creator of the anti-bullying program, We Take a Stand. He's a former high school prevention resource officer and a former DARE officer. Now, Mike's anti-bullying program has won several awards and offers a proactive solution that involves all students. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
You wear many hats, apparently.
Yes.
You've got a lot going on, but we're here to talk about probably one of the most important things you do for kids.
Yes.
And that's your anti-bullying program called We Take a Stand. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, We Take a Stand was started as a pro officer, as an officer in the schools, and as a DARE officer. We have training and we go around the state, we meet with other officers, but in the schools and talking with other officers, really what we saw over and over was bullying was such a problem around the state, anytime people are gathered. And I love this saying, the thing that irritates you the most, you're called to fix. So instead of complaining about the problem, I decided to do something about it. So I got together with some other officers and said, we have to do something. We cannot just sit on the sidelines. So we need to take active steps. And that's where the ideas came for We Take a Stand.
Now, it's interesting. My office is in Hartford, Connecticut, near Hartford, Connecticut. And the city put on a big bully emporium, right? A big conference. They wanted to train parents. They put the word out, and parents were basically saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to be there. So they got the big, giant arena in the city. And they were expecting 2,000 to 3,000 people. They had vendors set up and everything. Less than 800 people showed up, and 600 of them were officials from the city and the school system. They basically had about 200 parents that showed up, and that's really unfortunate. So I think what we found is when it comes down to the end of the day, when parents are tired and stressed, if they're not directly involved in bullying, they don't really always take an active role.
With it, I was surprised you got 200 parents out. I mean, parents are so busy nowadays, and a lot of times both parents are working. So to try to get parents to come out to any type of function, it's really difficult. But you have to get them involved. And with the program that We Take a Stand, you're getting the kids involved, and you're also educating the parents. They need to know exactly what the problems are. And on the website that We Take a Stand, we show parents that here's the problems, here's ways that you can resolve these issues. Whether it's happening in your workplace, in your children's school, in the community, we tackle all the issues.
So I really like your program because there are solutions to deal with the bullies. We hope there are. There's solutions to deal with the victims, but you're taking care of a different problem. And that seems to be like everybody else.
Well, here's the thing. With bullying, it's changed dramatically from where it was. When you and I went to school, if I saw my bully, I may only encounter him one time throughout the school day. But now with social media, now we've really dove into how they're really attacking. So now, when I go to schools as a DARE officer, I'll go talk to kids as young as 6 years old who has a cell phone. Almost all of them raise their hand. A cell phone is a weapon that can be used against you or you can use against others. So it's really, and that's the tool they use because everyone has it. And it's really easy with social media to pick on everyone. And we need to help out everybody because bullying is such a big problem. So with my program, I want to use positive peer pressure. I want to reach them on the way they're used to communicating with the social media or online. And we do that.
I was looking at your website, and you're doing a lot with the knighting system, right?
Well,
can we start there?
Well, yes. With how the program works, it's very simple. Whenever a kid is being found to be bullied, they they come to the office, or another kid could let us know what's going on, because the 90% of bullying goes unreported. So we really want to involve the other kids to let us know kind of what's going on. Or they could do it through the website or through the school. Once that kid is found who's being bullied, they come meet with the school principal and the school counselors. So to see if there's any underlying effects. Sometimes it might be something as simple as the pair of tennis shoes the kids have. Well, there's programs that a lot of schools have to get those kids new shoes, and that may stop a lot of the bullying right away. But if the bullying is not resolved something quickly like that, that student, I want to empower him. So I'm going to call him my champion. And that champion is put with a group of student role models called my Knights. And my Knights, they're not the most popular kids in school. They're not the star athletes. What they are is a group of genuine men and women of integrity who want to stand up and stop this bullying problem. If you and I are in a room and I pick on you and everyone in this room laughs, I feel like a superstar. I'm going to continue to pick on you. If you and I are in a room and I pick on you and everyone is silent, they don't say anything, guess what? You think they agree with what I just said, and I think the same thing. So we have to use positive peer pressure to reach these kids. And what I mean by that, silent in a room. When they're online, if everyone just goes by, keeps on scrolling, they don't tell them to stop, it's going to continue on. My Knights, what their job is to report it. For me, in law enforcement, I need to know if this bullying is going on, because we see a lot of stuff happen, especially in the middle schools. That's where you have a lot of suicides that happen in that. But we also got your school shootings. And 75% of school shootings are directly linked to bullying. We've got to stop this problem. We can't just say, oh, well, just forget about it. We've got to take action. My Knights, their job is to surround the kid who was being bullied, my champion, with positivity. I let them know that he matters or she matters. You make a difference in this world. A positive affirmation, high fives, handshakes. A high five, it's very hard not to smile when you get a high five. But we need to surround these kids with that. Now, with my 5 Knights that'll surround this kid, they sit with him at lunch. They invite him to sit with him. Their friends become my champion's friends, and it grows from there. Now, my champion, as he grows up, he's going to be able to use his story to help out others. Now, my Knights, I start with workable numbers. I have 5 males and 5 females from every grade level, but you could go more than that. And now, with their criteria, they have to have certain grades. I mean, and no drugs or alcohol, because I don't want my champion in his darkest days for another night to say, well, here, try this, drink this, smoke this. I don't want that. So no drug or alcohol use. They have to meet a certain grade, GPA. But the biggest thing is they're genuine. They're just, how you doing? And mean it, not, okay, I'm getting paid to be here. And let them know. And all these other kids who don't meet that criteria, let's say I got a kid who I got smoking. He can't be a Knight, but he can say, I'm going to use him as well as a defender. And they're just basically a backup for my Knights.
Now, I noticed on your website you had some cases with suicides.
Yes.
And one of them happened about 25 minutes from where I live,
Really?
Phoebe Prince.
Yes, Phoebe.
Up in South Hadley, Massachusetts. So unfortunate. You know, I thought when I saw your program, I thought about and remembered a PSA that they made in England one time, and I saw it, and it shows a redheaded kid getting picked on and beat up. And he's getting picked on by the bullies in the school. The next day, a whole group of kids came into school with their hair spray painted red. And that created camaraderie.
That's positive peer pressure.
Yeah.
For me to say, oh, I'm going to get a group of kids, they're going to beat up the bully, that's not going to resolve anything. Violence is just going to breed more violence.
That's right.
We have to use positive peer pressure. And that's a wonderful example. In the middle schools and in the high schools, but especially in the middle schools, when kids really are trying to figure out who they are, is where the bullying is most prevalent, especially on social media. When you're driving in a car and you get road rage, that person cuts you off, it's really easy for you to scream and yell because you don't see how it's hurting the other person. Online, it's the same thing. But when you're face to face, you may not say that. Well, online, when these kids are having their phones, or other people are commenting on it, how much they liked or disliked it, it really hurts them. I dealt with one case where one student created 10 separate profiles to pick on another student. And those 10 fake profiles were telling that student that he needed to go kill himself. So now, if you think in this world that 10 people hate you and want you to die, and then other people on that social media comment it, like it, and join in, now you think 100 people. Now, it was only one other person who made this profile, but now this kid going to school, he feels 100 or more kids want him to die, and I can't stand that. I'm going to do everything I can to stop it, but we have to use positive peer pressure.
Well, I really commend you for putting this together, and I know there was a couple other people who helped you do that. And I hope that school systems hear about this and perhaps may adopt it or understand what really works about it, and that your night system grows really well. But I thank you for taking time out to come and talk about this and share with parents and school systems that it's not just the solution of the bully and the victim, that we can use people around them to create a night system to protect those victims. So good luck to you, Mike.
Well, thank you very much.
Whether it's bullying, homework, or special needs education, parents need lots of help with their kids and teens at school. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to learn about a resource for parents that many school systems have. Don't go away. We'll be right back.